Hi guys and girls, this is Imperial Fist. This is update on my last video. You would have been able to see you would have seen me unbagging video of the Land Raider Achilles from Forge World. I think it's Achilles. Yeah, I think it is. How do I put it? That's bad. Yeah, it is Achilles. So apparently this has a weakness somehow, but I can't really see it. Maybe an anti-troop anyway. So I've now painted it, so it looks a bit bright, but that's because I've got big optical light sort of thing on it, bright light, so it looks bright, but it's all and it, to me now, without the light on, and I've just got, oh god, that's quite, it's really dark, but if I have a light on, but oh no, it wasn't on. Oh no. There we go. That's with a yellow light on, so it's still pretty light anyway. Turn that off. It's like so much better. So it's really light. So I'm just going to take you through it, but please know I'm just showing you this just before I go through the last bit of weathering I think I'll do, which is a null oil wash all over the whole tank, I would think. I had some bad experiences because I didn't shake it up. I didn't think, because the bad at blacks before you didn't have to shake it up. So look at that, it's so shiny. I put that all over it. It's quite shiny now. Look at that, it's glinting. It's dirty but glinting, so that doesn't really make sense. Which one better illustrate it? Yeah, here we go. Look at that, it is so shiny. So many need to do those again, which is annoying, but you need to shake it up, which now I know. So let me just go through the model quickly and how I've assembled it. So for gaming purposes, for gaming purposes, we'll start here. For gaming purposes, I would always suggest, actually with any tank, you can see my other Land Raider in the back here. So I just put it side by side. So generally when your tank is firing, it's facing forward, so naturally you want your weapons as far to the front, because you measure from a weapon's barrel or muzzle to your target. So if it was back here, it would lose possibly 2-3 inches, which is bad, especially for such a short range weapon, which I think is 24, whereas a las cannon's 48. So either you should really mount at the front with a las cannon, but it doesn't really matter, because you've got so much long range that can hit loads of stuff on a small board. I can hit everything on a small board really. However, this one you need I would really strongly suggest mounting them up at front if you're going to play a game with them. If you're not going to play a game with them, then whichever looks best. In my opinion, it looks best here, but in the back one, but I use this for game purposes and I want a bit of a variation. So if we go down the side of a tank, so please note this, remind you again, it's not weathered. Got decals for First Company. I've decided to have this as a First Company Land Raider. So it's got First, it's got Crusade there, and so this really bit of this which isn't done is really, I need lots more icons, little, if you saw my on the side of it, I do like a little memorial or something. It just gives it a bit more narrative and life. God, this camera's so good. That's much better than my last one. So I still need to wait for some bits and pieces, and they'll just happen whenever I get someone may go, oh, I'll just push them onto the tank. Just paint them up and you just use your thingamabob. Now, like Chuffy suggested, I think it was Chuffy, and he did one of these ages ago, and he said that you should do these, and I thought, yeah, I will remove these. Well, I'll do these separately. So these are nearly all done. I'm just going to give them another wash over the front, but I've just recently added First Company logo. So if I come around the side or the back, yeah, this looks all remarkably clean. That's because no wash yet. Let's come around here again. So we've got a Crimson Fist logo. The only I hate transfers. It's the only sort of transfer I use on a large tank with a flat surface. It still doesn't look hugely good. And I've just chipped it, paintwork there, so it sort of blends in You've got the same here, and with lots of dirt at the bottom, which I think is good. It's coming up a bit because I paint around my transfer, so you can't really see the break, and so that should all disappear when I've had a wash all over it. Now over here, if you see the huge amounts of chipping, this is the same technique I did on my fell blade. So if you haven't seen my fell blade, go back a few videos. Must have been a few months ago. Yeah, it's been in my display cabinet for a while. So what you do is, well, I washed down Regal blue, but actually no, it's Cantor blue now. You really do recognise the difference in the paints. The new ones are a lot better, in my opinion, from my experiences with them. So you wash down your Regal blue. This is what I do. Really simple. Wash it all down. Heavy coat, may go over it again just so it doesn't look all streaky. Then for chipping, I use something like, at the moment I use, because I don't use this colour very much, only for librarians and chipping. So I haven't run out, so I'm not sure what the equivalent is in the new lot. But I use Ultramarines blue for the chips. So this pointer. Sorry if you've heard this before, but I like to. Everybody knows. So I know. Let's see, if you could see this, you've got the blue here, which is a normal blue. Then if you come in, you've got a chip there. Now just. Now you can see different. If you can see, I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up. There's probably better examples. There you go. But blue, so you still want to paint the blue round, and then when that's dried, you get your silver, or whatever you're having, your metal colour, and you put it in, and you try and make sure you can see some of the blue still, so it looks like a chip, and I think it looks really good. It breaks up rather than just being silver or metal colour. So I've heavily chipped this because I imagine this is such a short range tank, its weapons, that it's going to trundle down streets or something, and it's going to get shit killed. Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but get beaten up. Shots going everywhere. I still need to do. Last bit I need to do is work on my headlights and the lenses. And that, I think it's all done. So you've got a front door. I'm not really sure if I like the door because I'm not sure actually how it would open. Would it open this way or would it all come down? I just think it's like a flap. It would just go bzzz, like that and sort of open. Sorry, I like the sounds there. Yeah. Oh, here's the cannon. There you go. See, it looks a bit bad at the moment because it hasn't been washed down, but you'll see the difference when it's been washed down. Now my other tank, I wanted to make sort of like the fists of a tank. So with your crimson fists, because they have fists, well, they're red, they've got red fists, crimson fists. That's where death is going to come from, and destruction is from their fists, either hitting somebody or using their hand to cause a wound. This is what tank would use for its weapon, so I've coloured them red, and I've done the same in this tank, and I would have done it on that one, but I just wasn't thinking. So on this one I've just done it over the weapon guard, which is effectively what I've done on this one. They're all weapon guards as well. It just breaks up the tank just from the plain blue. So then you've got a little. I've decided not to put, for the same reason as for heavy chipping, I've decided not to put a, not pilot, but a little guy sticking out the top, because ultimately this is going to be going down. Oh, focus. Is it focusing? I can't see from my little screen. There, it's focusing now. He's going to be coming down a street, getting everything shot at it. Little chips everywhere, and the last thing a guy wants to do is stick his head out. So he'll be in there, looking, firing his weapons to kill the enemy. So, and it breaks up rather, because I think on every single tank I've got in with my Space Marines, I've got somebody poking out the top, so it makes a difference. Oh, so need to get used to this camera. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish off headlights and bits and pieces, small bits you'll hardly notice, and then I'm going to wash it, come back, and just briefly explain some more techniques that I've used, and then all done. Cool, right, so catch me in a second.